This is Legacy Battle. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe notification button on whatever you're listening on. I'm Michael Adams, creator of Legacy Battle. My co-host tonight from the Gridiron Battle Zone is Brian King. We have an interview for you here tonight with a pickleballer. She is the greatest Australian women's player of all time. That's not opinion, that's fact. The medals support that. So I'm sticking to that story. And we are here to discuss her incredible journey and career. So we want to welcome to the show Sarah Burr. Thank you so much, Sarah, for making time.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. And I did mention Australian in case everyone listening couldn't tell by that accent there. So let's jump into our interview. We're going to start with Brian tonight.
All right, Sarah. So it's great to have you. I understand that much of your early life in Australia was centered on the game of tennis. But then at the age of 13, you decided to walk away from the game and sort of focus on other things. So would you tell us a little about those early days and what went into that decision to leave tennis?
Yeah, well, I have an older sister, so she's 5 years older than me. She was a very good tennis player, so I sort of followed in her footsteps a little bit. Enjoyed playing and watching tennis. I'm actually double-handed both sides in tennis, funnily enough, a little bit like Monica Seles. That was my idol growing up. Yeah, but I took it quite seriously from maybe 7 years of age through to about, 13, playing tournaments and all the rest of it. I was actually training with the same coach as Sam Stosur, Australian tennis player. So I sort of saw what went into becoming a professional tennis player, and I just decided at 13 I wanted to enjoy, my social life with my friends and, enjoy other pursuits other than just tennis because it was sort of all consuming. So I did make the decision to walk away from tennis at about 13.
Nice. Okay. So then a few years ago, the game of pickleball catches your eye. So how did you discover it and what was it about the game that caused you to be drawn to it just so completely?
Yeah, well, I sort of heard about it from my husband. He was going to a gym and someone at his gym had mentioned pickleball and, it's a little bit like tennis and things like that. So I'd heard about it back in about 2021. And then I saw a friend of mine she had a Facebook post and it was her husband on a podium holding like a trophy or a medal around his neck. And then he had a pickleball paddle in his hand, but I could see the tennis court in the background. So I was a little bit sort of intrigued. And I reached out to her on Facebook and I said, what's this game? What's your husband playing? And that was Martin Clark, her husband. So they took me out onto some courts and showed me how to play pickleball. And I saw how similar it was to tennis. And basically, I just never stopped playing from that first day that they showed me, the Clark family.
So here in the United States, pickleball is the fastest growing sport. How big is it in Australia, and is it just starting to take off, and is it going to get bigger? Tell us the magnitude of it right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely exploding here as well. We're sort of sitting around 20,000 players. Our national titles are just exploding. 2 years ago, I think we had 400 competitors. This year, we've had 700 competitors. And next year, we're expecting somewhere between, 1,000, 1,200, maybe 1,400 competitors. So that's just giving you an idea of how much it's growing. Courts are popping up everywhere, which is great to see. We've got getting many more people taking it seriously. So we've recruited a lot of tennis players. We do have quite a few open level players now. We've got prize money events. We've actually got now, you may have heard of Major League Pickleball Australia. So we're the first official offshoot of Major League Pickleball in America. So it is supported by the US. So we've got some massive events on the calendar for 2024. We've got over $700,000 in prize money up for grabs. We've got 12 teams now for MLP. I'm captain of the Gold Coast Glory team, which is a huge honor. We're basically following in America's footsteps here. We're doing a full live draft coming up next month in January. We've got a really exciting calendar of events that include New Zealand and Asia as well. So, we're definitely, it's not slowing down here at all. It's actually just in the opposite. Actually, it's just exploding. And it's super exciting. But it was always just me. For the past 2 years, I feel like I've just been yelling it from the rooftops and was not really getting a lot of sort of momentum or, no one was listening to me. And now everyone's starting to take it on and join the big, craze that is pickleball.
So the Pacific Pro Melbourne Women's Open, you take home the gold in doubles. You get the gold at the QP in Red Cliff. Does your game relate better to doubles or singles?
I love doubles. I love working with a partner through the ups and downs. And, we all get the yips sometimes when we're playing and our game goes off. And it's really nice to have a partner to rely on and to sort of support you in those moments. And it's just, I think, so much more satisfying to win a doubles match, because it's not just your glory. It's you and your partner. And, there's training that goes into it. There's a lot of strategy and tactics that go into doubles, which I really enjoy. And I do like that it's actually quite different from tennis. So I have to say I do prefer doubles. But having said that, I've just recently started playing a little bit more singles, and I'm enjoying that too, just as a completely different challenge. And I do think it's improving my doubles game, playing a little bit more singles. I'm getting a little bit fitter and faster, a little bit more aggressive with my ground strokes and serves. So I do enjoy both, but if I had to pick one, I would absolutely pick doubles.
So, Sarah, in 2022, you became the first Australian woman to be drafted into Major League Pickleball. You went to the AZ Drive team. So when you got the news, what was your reaction? I mean, I know that there's a time difference for Australia. So maybe it was nighttime, when the draft occurs. So, did you wake up to the good news? How did that all unfold?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So obviously, late 2022, I went to the US for a couple of months and played some PPA and APP tournaments. And I got some good results at my very last tournament in Mesa in December. So that was just before the draft. And I had some good wins or close matches against Deckel Barr, Andrea Coote, the Brasher sisters. So some pretty notable players. So the timing of that was pretty good. And so when I came back to Australia, I'd applied for the draft when I was over there. I'd flown back home and then got the news that, firstly, I got a phone call from Shelby Bates. So Shelby Bates had been drafted to a team, and she said, look, we're looking for our final female for our team. I'd like to pick you. Are you guaranteed to be able to come back to the US if we draft you? And I said, absolutely. So she put me in touch with their team owner, and I was speaking to him. And then this was all as the draft was sort of unfolding. And then actually another team owner ended up drafting me while I was on the call to that team owner. So that was the AZ Drive team. So it was actually crazy. It blew my mind to actually had two teams actually trying to draft me, like this girl from Australia who I didn't think anyone knew who I was. So it was pretty mind blowing. The other team owner had said, look, I'm really sorry, but someone else has drafted you. I can't see on my screen who it is. I can just see that you're no longer available. So I actually didn't, I was sort of trying to ask different people, to find out for me which team I'd been drafted to, and no one knew. They all were saying the same thing. We can't tell you, I'm sorry, but we can see you've been drafted. So I literally found out along with everybody else, when the team started announcing their lineups, that's when I found out I was on AZ Drive. So it was literally 2 a.m. in the morning for me. I had people messaging me going, congratulations, you're on the AZ Drive. And I'm like, oh, I am? That's wild. So it was pretty crazy.
So you received the 2023 Female Player of the Year from Pickleball Association Queensland. I mean, what did that award mean to you? I'm sure it was, one of your most exciting moments.
Yeah, well, obviously this year we've just seen a real influx of really high-level female players. Lots of young tennis players, high-level tennis players coming over. So they've definitely been giving me a run for my money this year. There's absolutely been no easy wins of any way, shape or form. And I've had a lot of stiff competition. So I really honestly was not expecting that award for this year. I thought there was other people who were very deserving, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they, received that award. So I was just, super honored, and, nice to know that I could hold on to that for at least one more year, and just keep grinding away and hopefully stay towards the top of the game next year.
So, Sarah, as we mentioned, you've had a lot of pickleball success in a short period of time. The World Pickleball Championship Triple Crown, the AZ Drive team, trailblazing for Aussie pickleballers. So what is your inspiration? What is it that drives you?
Well, honestly, I'm just having so much fun. I've never found a sport that's just so fun, and I've made so many wonderful friends of all walks of life, all ages, and that's just keeping me going, really. And then I guess it's kind of I kind of got that competitive fire again that I haven't had since I was a teenager. So I'm just sort of, and you know, you get a little bit of success, you have a win, that just gives you more inspiration to keep going and going further and traveling farther to try and see what you can achieve. So I guess that's what keeps me going. I also I'm enjoying helping out the younger people coming through. I do like sort of mentoring them a little bit, playing with them. It kind of, I feel like it keeps me young. I'm 37 now, so I know you know, particularly my singles days might be, you know, limited, but I'll keep playing all events as long as I possibly can. And yeah, just see how far I can go. I'm just so inspired to keep going. I don't think I'm anywhere near the end of my pickleball days. I think I'm still just getting warmed up. Super inspired by players like Simone and Sarah Burr and Megan Fudge, Arina Terashenko, who are sort of, you know, in their late 30s into their 40s and still absolutely crushing it at the top level. So they're my inspiration.
So 2024 Australian Pickleball Championships, when is it? How can people sign up? I saw it on your Facebook link. I saw a link on it, but how can everyone else find it, sign up, and when is it?
Yeah, so it's going to be in October of 2024, and it's going to be on the Gold Coast, which is where I'm from. That's absolutely the mecca of pickleball. There's so many good players. We've got some beautiful facilities, and it's actually nice and easy to find because all of our Australian sanctioned events are on pickleball brackets, so the same as all the PPA, APP tournaments. If you simply click on country, click down to Australia, and then you'll find all of our events. And there's like many events, like almost one a month, I'd say, next year, or if not more. So I definitely encourage people to come and visit Australia. There's plenty of pickleball to be had while you're here. You know, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help people find hits or, you know, sessions at their level. We just love pickleball and we just want to share it. So yeah, you should definitely come and support our events.
Well, thank you so much for this interview, Sarah. We appreciate your time and you being here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'll remind everybody, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification button. I want to thank everyone for watching. And if you're here in the States, have a good night. If you're in Australia, have a good day. And we'll see y'all next time.